telling you that it's not him. I'm telling you it's you.
No, it's you.
You can't make it up.
Actually,
you don't listen.
No,
and you give them, and you give the people outside of our house more respect than you give me. At the end of that,
you crazy.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Here's the problem. You don't get to. Why would I care about them?
Because you
do I talk about Marquez? When do I talk about Marquez outside of the 6 times we have the conversations about?
Yes, we do. Both of them live rent-free in this goddamn house.
It's almost unbelievable how quickly a quiet situation can explode into something nobody saw coming. One week, people thought Ken and Trish were just another couple dealing with small bumps in their marriage. The next week, the entire city was buzzing, social media was on fire, and somehow Martell Holt's name was right in the center of it all. And today, for the first time since the drama started spinning out of control, Martell himself is finally addressing the rumors. He's revealing what really happened behind those closed doors, and why his name ended up tied to one of the messiest breakups to hit Huntsville in a long time. But here's the twist: what Martell says doesn't just shift the story, it completely flips it. Because up until now, everyone assumed the breakup was a simple case of miscommunication, temptation, or maybe even emotional lines being crossed. But according to Martell, the truth is buried under layers of jealousy, misunderstandings.
Sure. And one of the things that continuously is bothering me, that I stoop low in my own conscience to call someone, a woman, a peasant. So I'm gonna retract that. I'm gonna take that back. Shame on me for doing such a thing.
Half-told stories, and a marriage that was already falling apart long before his name ever got added to the equation. And when you hear what he revealed, suddenly the puzzle starts making sense in a way that nobody expected. This isn't just about a friendship gone too far, or a night out that looked suspicious. It's about loyalty, insecurities, and a couple who had been pretending everything was fine when it definitely wasn't. So let's break this all down, piece by piece, and get to the real heart of the drama that pulled Martell, Ken, and Trish into one of the wildest situations we've seen in a long time. People who watched the show from the beginning remember how Ken and Trish carried themselves. They didn't do the yelling matches. They didn't jump into social media battles. They weren't the couple who fed the cameras dramatic moments to stay relevant. In fact, many viewers saw them as the calm center of the storm, two people who somehow kept their world in order despite being surrounded by cast members who seemed to live for chaos. While everyone else spent entire seasons dealing with cheating accusations, secret texts, emotional breakdowns, and arguments that spiraled out of control, Ken and Trish appeared to glide through the noise untouched. But as we now know, what people see isn't always the full truth.
I'm okay with is you trying to make it seem like I have issue with men that no, it's the issue is with you. How you talking to me? You didn't talk. You don't do that when you on. You don't do that when you're around nobody else. You don't care about me either. Why would you do? Why would you go harder on somebody you care about than somebody you don't care about? That absolutely makes no sense.
Because I don't have no.
That makes no sense. You're supposed to be more subtle and more open to communication with me.
Because it's frustrating me that you keep asking me. That's
it's not keep asking. I only ask you when the situation and you lied about.
Behind the scenes, their relationship was changing long before the rumors surfaced. Friends noticed it. Crew members noticed it. Even fans started whispering once the subtle signs became more obvious. There were fewer joint appearances, shorter interactions, less chemistry during scenes that once felt warm and effortless. Their smiles became polite instead of genuine.
Trying to get Trisha to understand is that whole privacy thing that she has going on doesn't work for our relationship anymore. Like if I ask her a question to her is an accusation. And I'm like, no, an accusation is an accusation. An accusation is me telling you, you did this. Me asking you a question is trying to figure out what actually went on, and it's not me. I can't tell you what you did if I don't know what you did. You gotta tell me.
Their conversations felt rehearsed. Their marriage was slowly shifting into something neither of them knew how to fix. Trish, usually so open and expressive, grew quieter. Ken, normally supportive and present, became distant. They were standing next to each other in public, but emotionally they were miles apart. And the truth is, they both felt the tension long before anyone else did. That's what makes this entire situation so heartbreaking. People expected them to be the exception. They weren't. The real turning point didn't come from Martell. It didn't start with a rumor. It didn't even begin with an argument. It began with a silence so heavy that even their closest friends could feel it. They weren't fighting loudly. They were drifting quietly. Trish felt like she was carrying the relationship alone. Ken felt like he couldn't meet expectations he didn't fully understand.
I view all women as queens. I really do. You know, sometimes in relationships, things don't go as planned.
Their marriage had become a cycle of missed signals, hurt feelings, and a growing emotional gap. And instead of addressing it honestly, they tried to protect their image. They tried to hold everything together for the cameras, for the fans, for their brand. But here's where things took a surprising turn. Trish didn't confide in Martell because she wanted attention. She didn't reach out because she was looking for someone to comfort her. She reached out because she thought he understood what it felt like to watch a marriage crumble in real time while the entire world judged from the outside. Martell had lived through the public fallout of his own relationship. He knew what it meant to feel isolated even when surrounded by people. According to Martell, their conversations were short, honest, and respectful. He said he listened more than he spoke, and every time he offered advice, it came from a place of experience, not interest. But the problem wasn't the conversation. It was the timing. Ken was already feeling insecure. He already sensed he was losing his connection to Trish. He already felt something slipping through his fingers. So the moment he heard that Martell had been offering support, it hit a nerve he didn't want to acknowledge. Instead of seeing it as a simple exchange between two people dealing with stressful moments in their lives, he saw it as a threat. And once that fear entered the picture, everything started unraveling quickly. Because while Trish was searching for understanding, Ken was searching for control. The rumors about the lounge didn't help either. People exaggerated. They twisted small details into dramatic versions of the truth. Martell claims that nothing inappropriate happened, that the entire night was exaggerated by onlookers who assumed the worst simply because they were seen speaking in a public place. But assumptions spread faster than facts, and soon everybody had a version of the story that made the situation look far worse than it really was. Trish was already emotionally drained. Ken was already frustrated. And the pressure from the outside world only added fuel to the fire. Before long, what could have been an uncomfortable conversation turned into a heated confrontation. Accusations were thrown. Defenses went up. Feelings were hurt. And the fragile foundation that was holding their marriage together finally collapsed. Now here's the part nobody expected. Martell says that he tried to stay out of the drama. He says he distanced himself once he realized the situation was spiraling in the wrong direction. He didn't want to become the center of someone else's marital problems. But the rumors spread faster than he could correct them, and by the time he finally spoke publicly, people had already formed their own conclusions. Some believed he had crossed a line. Others thought he was unfairly dragged into something he had nothing to do with. But Martell insists the truth is simple: the breakup wasn't caused by him. The breakup was already happening. He just happened to be standing too close to the wreckage when everything fell apart. For Trish, the emotional weight of the situation became unbearable. She felt misunderstood. She felt judged. She felt like her attempts to save her marriage were being twisted into something messy and inappropriate. And the biggest heartbreak for her wasn't the rumors, it was the realization that even Ken didn't truly believe her. For Ken, the situation left him feeling betrayed, even if the betrayal wasn't real. He felt pushed aside. He felt unwanted. He felt like a stranger in his own marriage, and instead of dealing with those feelings honestly, he channeled them into anger. His silence on social media wasn't about dignity. It was about confusion. And in the end, their emotional distance became the final nail in the coffin. By the time the breakup was official, neither of them had the strength to fight for what was left. Trish removed their photos. Ken withdrew from the conversation entirely. And Martell, who had been dragged into the situation against his will, found himself carrying the weight of a narrative he never asked to be part of. But here's where things get even more complicated. Martell revealed something that changes how this entire situation should be seen. he said Trish wasn't the one who reached out first. Ken did. Yes. According to Martell, Ken had privately asked him weeks earlier for advice on how to reconnect with his wife. He wanted to understand what causes emotional withdrawal. He wanted to know how to avoid the mistakes other couples made on reality TV. He wanted to fix things before they got worse. Martell says he respected that and kept the conversation private. But when Trish reached out later, Ken assumed the worst, forgetting he had initiated a similar discussion. So once again, miscommunication, not malice, fueled the fire. This changes everything. Because suddenly, the story isn't about a friendship that crossed the line. It's about a marriage caught in a cycle of fear, pride, and emotional exhaustion. It's about two people who loved each other but didn't know how to express what they needed. And Martell? He was simply someone who got trapped in the middle of their storm. When you look at it through that lens, the entire narrative shifts. Instead of Trish seeking comfort elsewhere, she was searching for understanding. Instead of Ken being wronged, he was overwhelmed. Instead of Martell stirring drama, he was trying to offer guidance from a place of experience. And yet, when everything fell apart, Martell became the easiest target. But here's the painful reality: relationships don't collapse because of one moment. They collapse because of many small moments that go unaddressed until they become impossible to ignore. And that's exactly what happened to Ken and Trish. Their breakup wasn't a sudden explosion. It was a slow unraveling. And Martell's involvement? It was never the cause. It was simply the spark that made the unraveling visible to everyone else. Now the question becomes, what happens next? Trish is choosing healing and distance. Ken is choosing silence and reflection. Martell is choosing honesty and clarity. But the truth he shared today reveals something deeper. This breakup wasn't about scandal. It was about two people who outgrew the version of themselves they were trying so hard to protect. That's the part people forget when they focus on rumors. Sometimes the biggest conflicts come from the quietest cracks. Sometimes the loudest breakups come from years of quiet pain. And sometimes, the person blamed for the chaos is the one who tried the hardest to stay out of it. So as the dust settles, one thing becomes clear: Martell didn't destroy Ken and Trish's marriage. Their struggle was already bigger than both of them. And the truth finally spoken shows just how much hurt was hiding behind their picture-perfect image. If this story shows anything, it's that even the strongest-looking relationships can break when communication fades. And sometimes the only way forward is through honesty, even when that honesty comes from the person everyone least expected. Now it's your turn. Do you believe Martell's version of events? Do you think he was unfairly dragged into the situation? Or do you think there's more to the story?